Good morning. This is a workshop on group brainstorming. I'm your presenter, Kelly Stair, author of VoiceThread for Digital Education, which is available from ebook retailers such as Amazon and Barnes & Noble, as well as Smashwords. And I'm also the author of QR Revolution, which comes out November 25th, and it's available for pre-order through Smashwords. My website is www.angrybunnypublishing.com, where I have live workshop screencasts as well as PowerPoints. And you can also contact me via email with either of these addresses. So what is group brainstorming? Well, group brainstorming is the idea of generating new ideas as a group. Brainstorming in general is about idea generation, connection, the organization of ideas and how they relate to each other, as well as exploring ideas and branching out into new areas. When you add the group aspect, you include communication, teamwork, team building, you have interaction with other people, and then you also have the synergy that's created when a group of people all start pulling together and doing things together and feeding off of each other's energy, and we call that synergy. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways that you can brainstorm as a group. Very low tech is post-it notes on a wall, and you have a bunch of people and they're all writing different things. You can move those post-its, you can organize them, different colors as you can see, and so that's one way to do a group brainstorm. Another way to do a group brainstorm is to create, this is obviously a very, very nice and professionally organized and colored and everything brainstorm, but the idea is that you create like a concept map that everybody is working on together, and you have this brainstorming and pulling ideas and images and symbols. Okay? Those are two very low-tech ideas for group brainstorming. So let's talk about first why to group brainstorm, as opposed to just brainstorm for an individual or to just start on a project without brainstorming. First off, group brainstorms generate a lot of ideas, and it generates connections between ideas. So you can start by taking one idea and branching off into several different directions, and then with a big group of people, you can take those directions and push them even further. And so you get a lot of ideas that are connected, a lot of different perspectives. The more diverse your group, the more diverse the ideas that will get connected into there. And so that's a good reason to brainstorm as a group. You can also find multiple resources. So you can have people looking for different things at different times, and so you kind of split the work. So you start brainstorming, you get an idea, and then somebody will go off and find some resources for that idea. Those resources might generate even more ideas, and so you get this like snowball effect of ideas when you group brainstorm. You don't settle for the first idea that comes along. This is really important, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later when I talk about being sneaky with students. A lot of my students, and I'm sure this is true for many teachers, a lot of my students, they say, we're going to do a group project, or we're going to do an individual project, or we're going to write a paper. And they think of an idea, and that's the idea they stick with. And that's it. They don't think about anything else. They just take the first idea that pops in their head and roll with it. And sometimes that's great, but for the most part, it doesn't let you think drastically. It doesn't let you say, okay, these are the things that I don't know as much about. I really want to push myself and try to come up with interesting and unique and ideas that are going to really grab my audience, as opposed to just whatever pops into your brain first. Debate and discussion. When you get a group together and they are debating and discussing and sharing resources, it helps clarify people's thinking. So you might think one way, but when you actually have to tell someone who doesn't share that view automatically, it helps you clarify what you actually think, as opposed to just the random ideas that are floating around in your head. And so you get that feedback. Like a Socratic seminar where you get challenged. A group brainstorm actually challenges those initial ideas without having to have a teacher involved in it. And so students will end up debating and challenging each other. Finally, group brainstorms use synergy. And synergy is that thing that happens when a bunch of people are all working on the same thing and they get really excited, and all of the energy that they have starts getting poured into coming up with those ideas. When you have a synergistic effect with a group, you come up with better ideas than just an individual. And so that's why you do it as a group. Okay, so I was talking earlier about being sneaky. And this is about not letting students just do whatever idea first pops into their head. If I'm doing a group brainstorm session, and I know that my kids are going to be brainstorming, this is what I do first. I have everybody generate a list of ideas or topics for the projects or research on their own. So I say, all right, we're going to do a project about the individual versus society. I'm a literature teacher. And so think of some ideas that are individual versus society. And I'll have them write them all down. And then they turn them into me, and I say, okay, all the things that you just came up with, you're not allowed to do any of those. You have to come up with something new. So I eliminate everything that they came up with on their own as a possibility. And this makes them step back and say, okay, well, if I can't do that, then what am I going to do? And so they have to come up with new ideas. It forces them to generate new ideas, and it forces them to work together because they don't know what other people have already put down. And so they have to say, so what about this? And then somebody's like, no, I already wrote that down. Like, no. So be really sneaky about that. Don't let students take the first idea. And the reason you want to do that is because it eliminates the obvious choices. If you're talking about individual versus society and they come up with something that's just blah, blah, boring. Well, they're going to come up with that right off the bat. They're going to come up with the easiest, simplest, least thinking possibilities first. And so you want to eliminate those, saying, no, can't do that. So then it gives you some deeper thought and some deeper connections with the topics or the projects the students are doing. Now, if you are sneaky, you have to be aware that once your students know that you're sneaky, they're gonna plan for it. So you might have some issues later on being sneaky, but at least for the first time, force them to choose interesting ideas. And I think that if you can get them to reflect on how not picking the obvious choice was a good thing and force them to actually learn something, they'll be a lot more willing the next time to go for a second choice idea. Okay, so you've got this idea of group brainstorming. Brainstorming in general to generate ideas. You've got the idea of a group to create synergy. So why do it online as opposed to those pictures that we had before? As opposed to taking like a big piece of paper and doing it that way, or as opposed to getting big paper with post-it notes and doing that. Why do it online? Okay, and here is the reason. First off, those other ones, the low-tech options, they don't let you gather resources. They don't let you gather online resources. And as everybody knows, using the internet, you can come up with a ton of resources and ideas. But if you're not using that, then those ideas are lost. And so doing it online lets you gather and share ideas. So you can share images, you can share videos, you can share websites, you can share all your other resources while you're actually doing a brainstorming session. And so as opposed to waiting to find resources until after you've chosen a topic, people can actually start gathering resources as they are brainstorming and say, ooh, I remember this great part of a video. I'm going to go on YouTube and pull it in. And they can find that and they can share it with their group, and that might generate more ideas. Why online? The software that I'll be showing you in a second has no signups, so you don't have to worry about that. You can use it with any browser, so you don't have to worry about some people are Macs and some people are PCs and some people only have cell phones, any browser. And you can share multimedia on it. So you can share pictures, you can draw on pictures, you have your own whiteboard, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. So the idea of sharing multimedia in order to gather and share resources is big. The last part of putting it online, if you do it in class, then class time is your only time. Okay? If you put it online and you open up a web meeting online and students can go there anytime they want, then your class time becomes anytime. Your students can go home and work on it. They can go work on it over a couple of days. They don't have to be in class to be able to do your project or to be able to brainstorm with their group. And so it really makes class time anytime. I'm going to do a quick demo. The brainstorming tool that I'm demoing is called Twidla. It's www.twidla.com. And this is directly from their website. It says it's a no setup web-based meeting playground, and it really is a playground. There's lots of fun stuff you can do. You can mark up websites, graphics, and photos. You can start brainstorming on a blank canvas. You can browse the web. You can make conference calls really productive. So it's this whole idea of having a whiteboard conference area. There's no plugins, no downloads, no firewall issues. Everything is there. It works on any browser. It's completely user-friendly, and it's a lot of fun to do. So I'm going to click here and do a really quick demo. So I'm going to click Start a New Meeting. And just like that, I don't have to even give them email address. Okay. Now, obviously, this is a free version, and so I won't be able to do all of the things that you could do with a paid version, but there are a lot of things that you can do. And so I strongly suggest that you check out the free version before you worry about the things that you can't do. We're going to start with the whiteboard. So you've got this whiteboard. You can select, you can draw things on here. Hey, not a very good drawer. You can erase things if you're not a very good drawer. You can add shapes. Okay. You can add text. Hi. Okay. And you can move things around once you've got them. So you can also, if you don't want this blank space, so you could definitely create, without anything else, you could create just a simple brainstorming session. Everybody uses a text box. You can do different text types, doesn't matter. And you could create like a post-it session. But in addition to that, you can also add some web pages. So if I have a web page, let's say I am researching, what do we want to research? Well, let's just do brainstorming since we had that. So whoops, brainstorm. Okay, so let's say I want to learn more about brainstorming. I'm brainstorming the art of brainstorming. Okay, so I grab my website, copy it, go back to Twiddler, I put the URL in, and I open it up. Now, every time you do that, it clears the page. So all the other stuff is gone now. But I can go back to it, and I'll show you in a second. So you've got this page right here. Now, let's say I want to add some information to this. So I say select, and I want to grab, oops, my bad. Grab this. I can draw on it and say, oh my gosh, this is really important. Or I can circle it, say, oh yeah, Osborne's method. Okay. I can add text. Great idea. Anyway, I can do all of these different things. Now, this website pops up as an added thing. So if I go and add another page, let's say I want to add an image, I'll click image. These are images that I've uploaded already. I want to show you how to upload. You just browse, go through, find your image, and say I want to pull one of these posters. Okay, pulls it up, transfers it, and then you're ready. So here's some of the images that I already uploaded. Now this, it says it's going to clear the page. I click OK. Okay, and now I get this image that I just uploaded. Okay, and so I can add things to this. I can draw that. I can change the color. There we go. I can erase things that I don't like. I can even, watch this, erase things on here. Okay, so if you're creating things, you can do that. You can clear your markups. You can clear all. You can do all the clear stuff. You can make, make lines like that. Drawing options. You can copy it. You can cut things. And so all of these different things that you can do as a group together. And so this will let everybody go to this board and work on it together. So when you are actually setting up a Twiddler, it doesn't take an email address or anything. Once you set up a meeting, you can go to this URL, you can copy it, and you can paste it, or you can copy it and make it into a QR code and print those out so that kids can get to it from their phones. However you want to share, but all your kids will go to this one. Then you can do more than one, and you can have your kids set up their own Twiddlers so that they can organize their own group. Depending on whether they are, older kids or younger kids, it might be easier for them to set that up. So basically, that's Twiddler, and that is brainstorming. I am Kelly Stair, writer and teacher consultant. My work is available at www.angrybunnypublishing.com. You can find screencasted webinars as well as the PowerPoints and this PowerPoint. If you like this presentation, you'll love my ebook, Voice Code for Digital Education, which is available now at Smashwords, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble. At Smashwords, if you use the coupon code ND26A, you can get 40% off through the end of October. Feel free to share that. Also look for QR Revolution, all about using QR codes in the classroom, which will be available November 25th. It is available now for pre-order for $2.99 through Smashwords through here. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.